Now, with the anniversary of the First World War next week, many people around the region have big plans to commemorate the event.
But one artist from Alresford is thinking small. Nic Joly is now world-renowned for his little people works, some fetching tens of thousands of pounds.
But an encounter with a veteran has led to him embarking on his most ambitious project to date, all in miniature. Ben Moore went to meet the artist with a tall order.
The smallest tribute to a huge sacrifice. 1,566 of these sculptures will be made, one for each day of the Great War.
I really wanted something big to happen and have the opportunity to bring as much awareness of veterans from the First World War through and those that were lost right up to the present day.
Each sculpture is less than 2 inches high. Cast in bronze, Nic fused the iconic British poppy with the American flag raising at Iwo Jima. All these works might look the same, but there is one significant difference. On the back of each frame is inscribed what exactly happened on that day during the First World War. For example, this is the 7th of August 1914, and it marks the day that the British Expeditionary Force first arrived in France.
My dear, I am once again out of the trenches, and it is a very lucky thing, as the Huns systematically strafed our road home and caught a very small body of men who went home in a bag each.
As Nic's art is famous around the world, people are sending him requests and inspiration, like this letter.
It just completely reminds you, actually, what this is all about. I'm going to make that day, and when I do make that day, I will know that this man, you know, wrote this letter on that day.
The inspiration for Never Forgotten came from work Nic's done with a World War II veteran who remembered his father's stories about the Great War.
Suddenly this whole notion of the First World War as a black and white, no sound war is suddenly vividly in colour. And that just really hit home with me.
The miniatures cost £700 each, but £100 of that will go to the Royal British Legion, £150,000 in total.
We don't just support veterans, so we're not thinking of necessarily just the older veterans from World War II. We're talking about the 21-year-old veterans requiring support from Afghanistan that are still yet to kind of come back, and their families, and their dependents, and in some cases carers.
By August the 4th, Nic hopes to have 100 sculptures at galleries across the UK. He then has 4 years to finish the rest. Tiny art with huge ambition. Ben Moore, BBC South Today.
And it's very exciting because we have got here in the studio Never Forgotten Day 1. This is the very first one. It's incredible, isn't it?
So
see
small,
those
but so impressive.
I know, so small and so significant. That's the thing, isn't it? Wonderful. And just to let you know, of course, that this time next week, 100 years, of course, since the First World War was declared, we will have a very special programme for you. So make sure you're with us next Monday, South Today, 6:30, all right, for that. More coming in the weeks to come.